So my name is Micah Kawamoto. I am 24. I am born and raised in the island of Hawaii. I moved here about 5 years ago, right before I turned 21, because my mother, my sister, and at the time her boyfriend, which is still living with them, invited me over. I was tired from living in Hawaii because kind of like when you live on an island, it doesn't really stay in one spot. Like everybody knows everybody's junk. And so I was tired of living that chapter, and it was an experience for me to realize that I could get away and start my life without any influence other than my family's. And since then, I've been through some ups and downs. I've worked so many jobs. I have a new niece. She's almost 3.5 years old, and my family and I have a really good relationship, except with my dad. He lives in Hawaii still with my new stepmom and my stepbrother and sister, which is okay. I live with Tyler Teese and Kyle Sawyer, two roommates, people that I've just met within the last year, and I'm going to school. I like to say full-time, but it's 9 credits, so give or take, it's stupid. But I'm studying international affairs and English, specializing in linguistics. I'm not sure if I want to do a dual major still, but definitely focus in the Japanese. That's my favorite language. I know a little bit. And I want to be able to really get a job, but I thought I love teaching. I'm really good at it, not just at school, but teaching English. I love language. I would love to translate multiple languages and figure out its origins and where language starts. So I may be a linguistic anthropologist, so it's really up in the air. School really does tend to make you very broad-minded. I just got out of a really good relationship.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've gotten better. It's good. I guess his name was Jonathan Eglin. Great guy.
What happened, if you don't mind, or is it personal?
We first met around the month of April, and he, I guess, spotted me out and told his best friend that he thought I was cute, and I was just like all with butterflies. And it was really funny because I thought he was one other guy, because his best friend said, "Oh, it's the guy sitting next to the girl," and I guess I mixed up bodies, and it was just really funny. And I thought he was one guy when he was really another, and we got things mixed up. And I just thought he was really cute when he sent me a picture. And we talked, we got to know each other. He's a P.I.C, so Pisces tend to be very, how do I say it, quiet, very observant, and when they speak like it's concrete. So we got to know each other a little bit better, and at one point in June 2nd, I asked him out, and he accepted, and it was the best thing that has happened to me since. Over the course of time, we hung out, we got to know each other. He got to know Kyle really well. John's life is his own, and I have no liberty to share it, but he obviously had his family members knew Tyler, so it's just kind of a small world. And what caused us to break up was I had to move. I was thinking about moving back home to Hawaii.
Oh, really?
I was miserable here. I wasn't happy, and I was just very emotional and just very down because I just tried to find purpose. Whether people believe in astrology or not, I guess a good measure so if you really want to get to know what kind of person I am, June 20th is my birthday, so I'm a Gemini / Cancer, whatever, if you believe in that. But it's a good way because some of it's pretty accurate.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
I've got most of it, and I just broke up with him, and I told a few people, which everybody tells everybody here, it's the same thing like the islands. They don't know how to keep their shit together. But I told John that was the hardest to break up, and I cried hard. Called my friends and said, "I'm moving back home," and then I realized that school is almost unaffordable for me, not just to live, but to attend school. And my friends are Christians, so they tell me, "No, believe, Mike." I'm like, well, I believe that God gave me wisdom, so, and to seek it, and to be wise, and to be a good steward with what I have. So my original plan was to go home after my bachelor's degree, but I really will have to see, what happens, because there can be opportunities that arise. And so when we broke up, it was hard, and then I decided that I wasn't leaving, and then I was, I guess, actively, pursuing him, trying to not to disrespect him. So I told him, I still have feelings for you, and I want to get back together again, but I want to do it on your terms, not mine. And then he realized, I guess we were just hanging out, and one night I just wrote him a letter saying, you render me speechless, and may I be as bold as to ask you to be my boyfriend again, because I still care about you. And that night he told me the truth that I already knew, but I needed to hear it from his lips. That he's moved on. He's realized that when we hang out, even when we were in a relationship, we would still be the same as if we were friends. And so I cried, and it was just hard. I couldn't face the music, and it was difficult. Talked to my best friend. At the time, my other best friend, Stephanie Prevost, was in Mexico, and I just wanted to be with her. So I called my other friend, Jill, and she came over and just told me, maybe you guys weren't supposed to date in the first place. Maybe you were just supposed to be really awesome friends. Mm-hmm. And so that helped me come to realization to get over it. And I respect John. I still have feelings for him, but I love him. And I told him, John, I hate that you have changed my life, forever changed my life, because I don't sleep around like I used to. I don't hoe myself around. I actually, he's made my life better in a way that I hate that he's done. Because it will ever remind me, whenever I see him, I have dreams about him. And I just wish I could get him, but I know I lost him. But he's moved on. But I told him I still want to be an active friend. I will be there to support him if he needs him, and he's really cool about it. It's hard to see other guys, with him, but I'll get over it.
Yeah.
So we're really good friends now. We went out last night after work, even later. So it was fun.
Okay. So, can I ask, how's your family about your sexuality?
My mom loves me.
Yeah.
No matter what. My sister will love me no matter what. My dad doesn't give a shit. My family doesn't care, because how I was raised, you love. Love is love. And love does not judge. It's patient, it's kind. I mean, Colossians, First Colossians, I think it's Second Colossians? First or Second Colossians, chapter 13, verse 1 through 13 is the perfect description of love. And they've just been very open about it. But then again, I talk about it, but I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to flaunt it. Just because I'm still in a soul searching, we're all soul searching. But I'll be honest, women don't do it for me. Yeah. And I'm beginning to wonder if guys really do it for me, because John's the first guy that I haven't slept with, which made the relationship deep, really deep.
Yeah.
And now I hold that up to a standard for every relationship. If I decide to date with a girl, I don't want to sleep. And I hate that. He's changed that about me. But it's a good thing that I hate. My family loves me, regardless.
Good. Now, have you ever been judged for
Absolutely.
who you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Has it been hard, or?
It's difficult. Even when I try not to act gay, it's the most. If not, it's up there with my peeves. Mm-hmm. Lying is the biggest one. I hate when people lie to my face. Yeah. It hurts me. Mm-hmm. But I could say it's probably the top 10 things that I hate most is when people judge me, because I have a higher voice than most men. I have certain feminine mannerisms, and I've literally taken it to the church, and I'm just I hate everything about me, and I tried to change, and I just realized that I was miserable trying to be a more masculine guy. This isn't me. And my friends are like, Micah, you're really fake, and they called me out on it. People in the church and people outside of the church, and it's the ones that are real to me that I love most, because they tell it to me. It's like telling someone you're about to go over a cliff. There's a cliff in front of you, idiot, back up. So I was judged since I remember a specific time when it began, and that was when I was in 6th grade. I wasn't very smart because I didn't know a lot of the terms, because I hadn't studied it yet, and 8th graders were calling me a homosexual. I was like, are you homosexual or homo sapien? So it was really interesting, because I never knew, because in 6th grade they don't teach that. They don't teach about biology and the derivatives of all that stuff. So, and even today, people know, so I'm a dick to them. Like, hookah was the best example. Sometimes I have both sides of the coin. So if someone's judging me, I'm typically either really funny and I make them laugh, I'm really kind to them, or I'm just a complete douchebag and just be like, you're an asshole and you can judge me all you want, but it's not going to change who I am. You are one person in my life that will come and go.
Yeah.
It's taking me a while to get there. Sometimes it irks me a little bit, but most of the time when I'm with my friends, I really feel special.
Mm-hmm. So you have a good friendship with
Well, I realized that I have a really good support group here.
Yeah.
I just never really took the time to look up, which was one of the reasons why I was thinking about going back home to Hawaii. Because in Hawaii, I have a really strong support system. Plus, it's everything, the environment, the people, the culture. It's very different from Reno. Very liberal, I guess. But I'm going to go back and visit in spring. I decided that if that's where I'm supposed to be, then I need to start visiting it and really feel if this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. So you said that you have a not a good relationship with your father. Like, why is that? Is it because you're married?
I tried to make that as subtle as possible. My dad, I was spoiled. I'm not gonna lie, I was a spoiled dick when I was young. I always used my dad for money and I never really returned love, but then again, that's how our relationship was kind of based on, like, I work hard, you reward me. And I think that's the same way my grandpa did to my dad. My grandpa was hard. And I guess as soon as he got older, when you get older, things start seeming less important. My dad and I just got into he would always just, chastise me, I guess, or he would discipline me. So I learned a lot. Like, I just felt like he never loved me, and every time, it seemed like we would always argue about money, and I hated that. And so it was when I was 8, my parents divorced because he cheated on my mom, and I was just mad at him. So all I remember is that I was over at my auntie's house. He tried to call, and my auntie's like, "It's your father on the line." I'm like, "I don't want to talk to him. I just want nothing to do with him right now." And my auntie, of course, God, I love her because she loves God and she loves life and she loves people and the family. And she's been the most supportive person in our family because our families go up and down, but she's really been the anchor from what I could understand. She said, "No, talk to him." So I talked to my dad, like, "I hate you. I'm so mad at you. Like, you don't understand what you did to mom and what you put her through." And he's like, "I know." It's like, "No, you don't know, Dad." And I just hung up on him. It's like, "I'm done with you." And then we tried to amend it, and he tried. And then at one point, he just said, "I'm stopping my financial support with you." And that was when I was 17, when I graduated. So both my mom left. Like, she's like, "Either you're coming with me to the U.S. or you're not." And to Reno, and I said no because I feel like I'm supposed to be here for a little bit longer. And I learned. My dad just never helped me. I asked him, and even when I asked him, he didn't help. And I told my mom, like, "You know what? I'm not asking for money. I just need emotional support. That you're gonna help me get through this emotionally," which is, I think, the key: mental and emotional awareness. And she was there for me more than my father was. And at one point, I remember I was at the church and I just told him off, and I was like, "You know what? I am not one of your criminals. I do not deserve to be interrogated. You can talk to me like your son and like your blood, and I'm not a dog. So if you cannot talk to me like your son or your own kin, then don't call me. Leave me alone." And I broke off all ties with him. He was paying for my cell phone. I wanted to pay for my own, so I took care of it. Paid for my own cell phone. I broke off all ties financially, and I love my dad. And yesterday was my dad's birthday, and I was just kind of bitter about it because it's like, wow, should I be the bigger person and say happy birthday, which I should not. Because I was like, you know what? No, I do need to be the bigger person and step up.
I would agree.
But I just think it comes with time, and I'm just, am I okay with this now? I need to work through some things before I can deal with my dad. I love him now. I used to really be very, very bitter, and I think I'm getting better, but there's some bitterness there that I need to really let go. But I love him, and I know he loves me. I know he loves me now because I can see it when he does certain things, and I can see the attempts.
So. Yeah, no, I understand. I had a tough relationship with my father as well, and it's hard, but you just have to move on and let it go.
It's
not
really
look
hard
back.
too. Absolutely, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because it's so sad because in religion, whether or not people take it or not, the Christian religion becomes the most relevant. Like, I didn't realize how relevant it is to everyday life. Like, it's really hard to picture a beautiful, loving God when your father has been such a jerk and just raised you wrong, but raised you in what he thought was right. And it's really hard to accept something so free.
Yeah.
So,
What about your church? How are they with you?
well, the church in Hawaii that I've always been a part of, that I will never let go, I ended up leaving because I was part of the leadership team, praise and worship team, the dance crew, the works, and I ended up leaving because there was just drama that was going down with one of my mentors at the time, and she was going through a lot of persecution through the church because she was one of these praise and worship sign dancers, the teachers. And she was very headstrong, very driven, and very get in my way, I'm going to run you over kind of mentality. And she was leaving, and she told me to come with her, and I did. And I was telling my leadership team, my pastor who had remarried once again because his wife cheated on him and left him and wanted nothing to do with him. And so this new woman, her name was Kinsey, love her today, love her absolutely love her. And my best friend at the time, which is still my best friend, Eddie. I just told him I want your blessing to go. You know, I'm leaving, and it was a bitter ending. But since recently, my church, Solid Rock Ministries, which is what I love, they've always been there for me. Especially Randy. She's always been Facebooking me. I went to go visit her when I moved here because her and her husband were living in Chico. So I went over twice, took the Greyhound. That was fun. That was an adventure all the time. I love Chico.
Yeah.
The church is good. I haven't been in one here because I feel that, I know to some extent, like, you really have to put the effort in to connect with the people at the church, but I just feel that these churches are so mega that they lose sight of family. And I want to talk to my pastor. Like, I just want to talk to you. Like, can I just take you out to coffee? But it doesn't work that way here. Like, there are deacons and there's a system, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck the system. I want to talk to you, or I want you to talk to me. I want to be in your presence, Pastor. Like, you are obviously anointed for something, and it's not just to speak on a pulpit. It's not just to speak to, other people. And I should have made that eminent. And I'm just so mad because I never had the balls to just tell people straight up, like, I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to a computer. I want to talk to you. And it's not the churches, it's me, because I never had the boldness to actually just admit it. And I was just going from church to church to church to church. The first church I do, however, fell in love with was Summit. The Summit Church in Sparks. I met Haley Walker, Mike Winters. These are Beth Perwan, which is a really close friend in my life. And there are other names that I could name, but those are the three prominent ones that I can remember that affected my life positively, and sometimes emotionally too. I don't have a church here, which is sad. But I try to live a life that's worthy of the gospel. That's worthy of living a life that isn't about self. Yeah. I like to think. It sounds poetic, but I think it's easier said than done. So, yeah.
I'm gonna stop here.